Hi guys, today I'm going to do a new in books for July, which I didn't even put the June out, even though I did it a long time ago. So I think I'm going to stack these videos back to back. There wasn't a ton in July. July is one of my favorite months, but there wasn't a ton of books in July, so I had to search everywhere, like everywhere, to find a top 10. I really wanted to put it like a top 6. Okay, starting off with number 1. Number 1 is The Life She Was Given by Wiseman, and it comes out July 25th. It's a circus story, so I've read quite a few circus stories this year, but this one is a circus story set during the Depression era, and there are family secrets woven in, and I love historical fiction, and apparently I love circuses, so this is why it made number 1 on my list. Number 2 is What to Say Next by Julie Buxbaum on July. It comes out on July 11th. This one is a contemporary teen read, I believe, because of the description, and it was just 2 teens that have an unexpected connection, and it just sounded like a lighthearted contemporary teen read, and it had really good reviews on Goodreads, so I'd check it out. Next up is number 3. Number 3 is 7 Stones to Stand or Fall by Diana Gabaldon, and it came out June 27th. I did not see this one come out, and I'm really surprised in June, so I'm throwing it in July because it did come out at the end of June, but it is just stories related to Outlander, and she has put out a bunch of these stories before, but it's like a compilation book, which is nice for readers because then they don't have to buy several books, and it has 2 new stories, so I'm excited to pick up that one whenever I finally finish the Outlander series. I'm keeping my way through it. It's pretty hard. Number 4 is The Last Magician by Maxwell. It comes out on July 15th. About a girl named Esther, and she is set in modern day New York, and she's a magician. Talk about circuses and magicians. I think there's a few of them in here. But she has the manipulation of time travel, and she is digging through magical artifacts at the time. When the story starts, and then she needs to go back to 1902 to get a specific tomb or artifact so that the magicians in her world and during her time will all be okay. Number 5 is Daughter of Burning City by Amanda Foody, and it comes out July 25th. This is about a girl named Soraya, I believe, so once again it's magical and it's circus. Apparently there was a theme this summer. And she is only 16 years old, and she's the first illusionist to be born in hundreds of years, if I understood it all correctly. And she is working as part of like the freak show in a circus, and somebody comes along and starts stealing her illusions or her magic. So she has to figure out why that's happening. Number 6 is What We Lose by Zinzi Clemmons, and it comes out July 11th. This one I saw this one a lot all over, and it's got a really pretty book cover, but this one is just about a young woman who goes through death, and it's about her struggles in romance, and it's just a everyday, I think it's an adult, I think it is an adult struggle through life. So it talks about romance, race, motherhood, and death. So I thought that one sounded pretty interesting as well. Not a big fantasy one, it's a contemporary, which is really popular usually in the summer for reads. Number 7 is American Fine by Monica House, and it comes out July 11th. This book is about a Washington Post reporter who stumbles on a trail of a lot of crime in a city that's basically forgotten, where it's part of a crumbling town, and it's her going through this crime, and this one really has a pretty book cover. That's why I was drawn into it, and the storyline sounds pretty interesting because I grew up in the middle of nowhere, America, and sometimes there is some crime. Number 8 is Back to Magic. This one is called The Witches of New York, and it's by Amy McKay, and it comes out July 25th, and this is about 2 women who own a witchcraft shop in the Gilded Age of New York, and another woman comes along and is younger, and she's also a witch and works in their shop, and it's just about friendship, I think, and witchcraft in the Gilded Age of New York, so it sounded pretty interesting. I'm not sure. I chose a lot of magical witchcraft and circus stuff in July, apparently. Maybe it was just a theme coming up this July. number 9 is called The Refuge by Dina Nayeri, and it comes out July 11th. This is a fiction. I tried to find something that was nonfiction, and this was as close as I got to being interested. This is a fiction-based novel, and it's about a girl named Nilo who escaped Iran. Her and her mother and her brother escaped Iran, and then her father stayed behind because he was into opiates and he was a dentist and he couldn't leave his business and his opium addiction, basically. And then it's a reflection piece, actually, of her when she's growing up in France and all these problems that are going on in Iran. So it's a little bit about the beginning of their escape, but mostly I think it's a reflection of her being an adult and dealing with her Iranian heritage and living in France. So the last but not least, that one sounded really interesting to me of all the books. That one was one of the most interesting books. That one was the most I was excited for, I think, out of all the books so far. And then also number 10 as well I was excited for, and it is called The Wives of War, and it is by Soraya Lane. I don't know how to pronounce her name, and it came out July 1st. This one is about two women nurses during wartime, which is, I always love reading about that stuff. And they meet on a train platform and they both get sent to Normandy, and then their third nurse woman comes in and joins their friendship group. And the third nurse has quite a lot of experience and knows that most likely one of them will not survive. So those are all the books I read in July. Some of them are pretty interesting. A lot of magic, a lot of circuses, a lot of historical fiction, and a lot of friendships. I didn't really choose many romances this July. But if there's anything you'd like to read, please note down below and tell me which one you think I should read first out of July's new book releases. And all my stuff will be linked down below, Goodreads and everything. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Bye.